That one silent second where your spirit leaned in, your heart paused, and something shifted, not in the room but inside you. You didn't click this by accident. You didn't scroll here randomly. You were drawn, summoned by divine design, because when it's time for heaven to speak to your spirit, the delivery doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be right on time. And this is that time. One view is all it took. One divine moment, one sacred confirmation wrapped in a whisper, and now your alignment begins. This is not just a video, this is a trigger point, a meeting between your now and your next, between the old you that was surviving and the new you that's about to overflow. You thought overflow was a fantasy, something reserved for others, the influencers, the preachers, the success stories. But now it's knocking on your door. Now it's whispering to your soul. Because what's inside of you is finally ready to be poured out. And all it took was one real moment of awareness, one heart-to-heart between you and God. Even if no words were spoken, you can feel it now. Your breath is deeper. Your thoughts are still. Your soul is listening. And that's exactly how divine alignment begins. Not in chaos, but in clarity. You were never unworthy. You were never forgotten. You were just being aligned, prepared in the etched shadows, sharpened in the silence, built in the unseen. But now the spiritual gears are turning. Now the door that couldn't budge for years just clicked open, because divine alignment doesn't ask for your effort, it asks for your yes. That's all, not your perfection, not your performance, just your posture. And by making it this far, your spirit already said yes. That one yes just rewired your path. That one yes just shifted the heavens. That one yes just broke generational delay off your timeline. You didn't even need to say it out loud. Heaven heard the agreement in your heart, and now it's moving. It's realigning the people, redirecting the steps, rescheduling the blessings, because the moment you align with God's pace, overflow follows. Not hustle, not striving, not begging. Overflow. Ideas that make sense, connections that stick, doors that open themselves. That's the power of divine alignment. When you stop chasing and start allowing, when you stop fixing and start flowing, and yes, it all began with just one view. That's how powerful one sacred moment can be. That's why the enemy fought you so hard to stay distracted, to stay bitter, to stay skeptical. Because the moment you tuned in, he lost control, and you just unlocked flow. Not the kind of flow that's temporary. Not the fake peace that breaks in storms. Not true. Flow.heaven-backed.favor-filled.overflowing. You won't have to explain it. They LLC it on you. Your glow will change. Your voice will carry more weight. Your walk will feel lighter, because divine alignment clears what confusion cluttered. It puts you in position where what's meant for you can finally find you. This isn't hype. This is holy. You didn't manifest this moment. You were marked for it. And now, like a river being unblocked, the flow begins. It won't make sense to others. They'll question how everything is starting to work for you. They'll wonder how you're moving with peace while they're stuck in panic. But that's what happens when you're aligned. You attract what's assigned. You receive what's been waiting. You don't run after the blessing finds you. Because heaven knows your location. It never lost sight of your obedience. It never forgot your tears. It never ignored your pain. It simply waited for your heart to get still, for your yes to get louder than your fear, for your alignment to match your anointing. And now that it does, get ready, The ripple starts now. A fresh wind is entering your space. Ideas will begin to come out of nowhere. Divine strategy will drop mid-prayer. Peace will sit heavy on your chest for no reason at all. That's overflow. That's how it feels when grace takes over. You're not forcing the outcome. You're flowing in faith, and everything that felt stuck for years, it's starting to move, not because you changed your hustle, but because you changed your position. You stopped leaning on your own strength. You stopped idolizing the outcome. You surrendered in, heaven responded. That's what makes this moment so holy. It's not loud, it's not flashy, but it's undeniable. You feel different because you are different. And it all started with one view. You can't go back now. That old way of thinking doesn't even fit anymore. It's like trying to wear shoes. 2 sizes too small. Your spirit has outgrown it. The old survival tactics, not needed in overflow. The old self-doubt, not welcome in alignment. You've stepped into something bigger and deeper and more precise. And even if your mind hasn't caught up yet, your soul already said yes. You can feel it in your breathing, in your posture, in your clarity. Something has clicked into place. You're not chasing anymore. You're becoming. This is the version of you that your prayers were preparing. This is what the silence was shaping. This is why nothing else made sense until now. Because when alignment hits, everything hidden becomes visible. The truth you were avoiding, it comes to the surface. The distractions you used to entertain, they suddenly repel you. The people who weren't meant for the journey, they start falling away without a fight. That's not loss. That's heaven clearing the path, not out of punishment, but for precision. Alignment can't happen in clutter, and overflow can't flow where there's blockage. So yes, it's okay to feel lonely right now. It's okay if it seems like nobody's clapping for your growth. It's okay if the people closest to you don't recognize the change, because the transformation happening in you wasn't meant to be loud, just real. Let them misunderstand. Let them label it as a phase. Let them doubt what God whispered to you in private, because the proof isn't in your words, it's in your walk. You'll speak without speaking. You'll carry an energy that shifts rooms. You'll attract favor like oxygen effortlessly, because when you align, your spirit becomes magnetic. You won't need to explain your path. You'll just walk it, and every step you take will echo with purpose. Opportunities will recognize you. Rooms you used to beg to enter will now invite you in. Things you thought were delays will reveal themselves as divine setups, because you're not just walking into overflow, you're being positioned by heaven for it. Let that sink in. You're not behind. You're not running out of time. You're not late. You're right on schedule. Heaven's not in a rush. God didn't miss your prayer. He was waiting for your awareness to meet his agenda, and now it has. That's why everything feels unfamiliar. That's why the things that used to comfort you now irritate your spirit, because you've upgraded. An upgrade always creates tension, but that tension is proof that growth is happening. Don't run from it. Lean into it. Let the shedding happen. Let the discomfort mold you. Let the process refine you. Because overflow isn't just about receiving. It's about becoming. It's not just about what you gain. It's about what you no longer need. You no longer need validation to move. You no longer need the crowd to clap. You no longer need the plan to make sense on paper, because you're not walking by logic, you're walking by spirit, and the spirit doesn't make sense to the flesh. That's why you've been misunderstood. That's why you felt alone in rooms full of people. That's why you've had to cry through victories no one saw. Because this wasn't about applause. This was about alignment. And now that you've found it, the river can flow. Not a trickle, not a drop, but an overflow. Peace that passes understanding. Opportunities you didn't apply for. Conversations that lead to destiny. Resources you didn't chase, but that chased you. That's the signature of heaven. No striving, no stressing, just flow. And yes, it all started with one view, one divinely guided, spiritually loaded, perfectly timed view. A moment you'll look back on as the moment everything changed. The moment the fog lifted. The moment the doubt melted. The moment heaven whispered, now you don't have to force it anymore. You don't have to convince them anymore. You don't even have to overthink anymore. You just have to trust what's already begun. Let the river do the work. Let the anointing guide your steps. Let the overflow introduce you to your next. You won't have to knock. The doors will open. You won't have to pitch. The vision will speak for itself. You won't have to beg. The provision will come looking for you. That's overflow. That's alignment. That's the grace you've stepped into without even realizing it. And now that you're here, the only thing left to do is walk it out with boldness, with clarity, with joy, because the fight is over. The striving is over. The confusion is over. You're not in the wilderness anymore. You're in position, and everything that's for you is now in motion. Your name is being spoken in rooms you haven't entered yet. Your face is being remembered by people you haven't met yet. Your gifts are being unlocked by doors you never saw coming. That's what happens when heaven hits go. And heaven just did. Not because of who you are in public, but because of who you remained in private. Faithful, humble, willing. You didn't quit. You didn't fold. You didn't let the silence kill your belief. And for that, God is rewarding you publicly for what you endured privately. The delay was real. The pain was heavy. The waiting room was long. But none of it was wasted, because the version of you that's walking forward now is the one God's been building all along. Now that it's started, nothing can stop it. The alignment, the overflow, the breakthrough, it's in motion and it won't be reversed. That single moment, that one view was your yes to the spirit realm. And now heaven is echoing it. You're not waiting anymore. You're walking in it. And as you walk, you're going to notice something. The very people who overlooked you before will start to watch differently. The very atmosphere that resisted you will start to submit. Not because you changed who you are, but because you finally accepted what you are. A key, a gate, a vessel. Everything inside of you is being stirred for impact. That's why you can't afford to go back to small talk, to old places, to circles that keep you tame. You were never meant to blend in. That fire in your chest. Right now, it's not anxiety. It's awakening. That burn in your spirit. It's not restlessness. It's your assignment pulling on you. It's destiny whispering. It's time. Time to speak what you used to swallow. Time to build what you only imagined. Time to walk in rooms with a new weight. Because when God shifts your atmosphere, it doesn't ask permission from your past. It just happens. One view, one touch, one instruction. That's all it takes. And the proof isn't in what you see. It's in what you feel right now. The clarity, the boldness, the calm confidence that says, I'm chosen, and I don't need anyone else to confirm it. You don't need another sign. This is it. You've been praying for the door, but you are the door. You've been asking for the move, but you are the move. Heaven is moving through you now, and the more you obey, the more the flow increases. There will be moments ahead where you'll feel the enemy push harder, That's just confirmation you've tapped into something real. Breakthrough doesn't go unnoticed. Your light, it irritates darkness. Your obedience, it exposes rebellion. Your favor, it stirs jealousy. But don't dim down, don't explain, don't defend. Just walk. You don't owe explanations when God elevates. You owe Him glory. Let people wonder. Let them speculate. Let them question how it happened, because they weren't there. In the midnight hour, they didn't see the tears you wiped alone. They didn't feel the weight you carried when nothing made sense. But God saw it all, and now He's rewarding it all. There's a new favor on you, a quiet power, a divine oil, and it will speak louder than any defense you could ever make. Your presence will shift things. Your voice will carry weight. Your steps will be ordered, because you're not walking randomly, you're walking assigned. This isn't trial and error anymore. This isn't maybe this will work. This is flow. This is precision. This is divine rhythm. And the best part? You're just getting started. Doors are opening now that no man can shut. Ideas are dropping into your spirit that can't be stolen. Resources are aligning that can't be blocked. Why? Because it's heaven's time. And when it's heaven's time, no delay, no enemy, no resistance can stand in the way. You don't have to strive anymore. You don't have to manipulate anything. You don't have to force what's already falling into place. You're not chasing anymore. You're attracting. Peace is finding you. Support is finding you. Provision is finding you. From unexpected places, from unlikely sources, from divine appointments. That's what happens when you finally come into agreement with who you were born to be. You stop fighting your own power. You stop minimizing your presence. You stop settling for crumbs. And you start living like someone who knows their value. You stop begging. You start creating. You start waiting. You start moving, because the season has shifted. And one view was all it took to activate it. This isn't hype, it's real. This isn't emotion, it's elevation. This isn't a coincidence, it's your confirmation. You've been carrying a heavy spiritual pregnancy, but now the labor pains are over. It's time to deliver what's been forming in secret. Your words will carry healing. Your hands will carry provision. Your spirit will carry discernment. And wherever you go, things will change. Not because of you, but because of what you carry. People will sense something different. They won't be able to explain it, but they'll be drawn, convicted, inspired, because heaven's fingerprint is all over you. You've become a mirror of what obedience looks like. A reminder of what happens when someone says yes and keeps saying yes, no matter how long it takes. You didn't break, you bent, you cried, you doubted, but you didn't quit. And heaven rewards that. So breathe deep. Smile softly. Walk boldly. You made it. Through the wilderness, through the waiting, through the wandering, you've arrived at the gate of overflow, at the door of alignment, at the place of breakthrough. And it all began with a single moment. One decision, one act of faith, one view. Now watch what unfolds because of it.